Welcome to Bleep Bloop. I'm Jeff Rubin here with Andre Vermeulen, David Young, and Pat Castles. Video game movies are not exactly known for their quality, but the worst of the worst all have one thing in common. They were made by one man, Uwe Boll. So today we're going to watch some of Uwe's movies. Groovy! This is Blood Rain, based on the video game Blood Rain, and it's about a female vampire, and the video game takes place in World War II, but the movie actually kind of serves as a prequel.
Do you have to play the video game to understand the movie?
Oh, you can't understand the movie. In this Blood Rain-averse, vampires cannot touch water.
She's screwed.
I don't get the whole vampire water thing, because that is not in Twilight.
I watched the commentary for this to prepare for filming this episode, and I know the most boring in the world now. Like, this was her last day of shooting, this was her birthday, and I would give anything to just get that information out of my head. I don't want to remember the movie, much less the commentary.
What better birthday present than to not have to work with Uwe Boll anymore?
I'm impressed by the torches in the background. There's so many torches.
Wow. You're his ideal audience. They lit a torch!
Here's Ben Kingsley, who I had previously assumed this was some sort of fluke that Ben Kingsley ended up in this movie. But then I saw Prince of Persia, where he plays the exact same role as kind of the evil...
How is it a fluke that he's in this movie? He's like, oh, this isn't the set of Gandhi 2. They slam the door shut and start rolling the camera.
Yeah, I think that's what makes Uwe's movies so high profile on the internet and such an easy target, is there's a million terrible direct-to-DVD movies. Mm-hmm. But he's got Ben Kingsley in his. This is In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale based on the video game Dungeon Siege. And this is Uwe's magnum opus. They really gave him a budget for this one.
A really fun game to play when you watch like these like cheap horror movies and like especially the siege of a village is just pick one of the marauders and watch them. And they'll never really do anything. They'll just like chase a woman for a few steps and then run over to like a fig stand and shake the fig stand.
I think marauder might be one of my favorite words.
Yeah, as I said it, I was like,
It's just
I secretly congratulated myself. Jason Statham is really a big get for this movie because he really is one of the last like big action heroes. I mean, Stallone or Schwarzenegger, they're going to be too old. And then, you know, maybe you can get like Viggo Mortensen or someone, but they've kind of like gone in other directions than doing like
They're
since Lord of the
soft.
Rings.
When you see Jason Statham on the poster, you know what you're signing up for.
I don't want to admit this, but I'm going to. All of these movies I have interest in seeing because, like, these clips, I want to know what happens before and after.
We're sort of focusing on the best parts. When we started, we sat down, Pat and I were like, let's watch all the movies, and then we'll show everyone the worst parts of them. But then the movies were so bad that we had to be like, we can't show the worst parts. People are just going to turn the bleep loop off. We're going to have to use the best parts if anyone even has a hope of making it through the episode.
And you're concerned that your belief that seeing the preceding 50 minutes before these scenes would somehow explain something. Very wrong.
There was a petition going around the internet, and if 1 million people signed it in a certain amount of time, Uwe promised he would quit film. So then to kind of address the petition, he made this video, also promoting his movie, which was new at the time, Postal.
So hi, here's Uwe Boll, and I have a statement to make about that internet petition. I want that there's a petition also out there, like a pro-ball petition, and I expect 1 million votes pro-ball. And I hope somebody will set it up and you all start signing it. Because look, I'm not a fucking retard like Michael Bay or other people running around in that business, or Eli Ross making the same shitty movies over and over again. If you really look in my movies, you will see my real genius.
He's like a
pro wrestler.
He's like a pro wrestler, exactly. He's
He's
sort
a
of like
heel.
loving the hatred.
But I think he knows the attention, in the end, is good for the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
He might be like a Heidi and Spencer. Like,
Exactly.
all press is good press.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine him watching a Michael Bay movie. He's watching Transformers 2, and he's so frustrated because he's just like, my movies aren't really worse than this, and he's not wrong.
No.
Mm-hmm.
How often does he work?
Uwe has actually released 3 movies a year for the past 3 years.
Which means that he's 3 times as good as Woody Allen.
I feel like I'm in this awkward position where I keep defending Uwe, but no one has made a good video game movie. This is not just his problem. No one has cracked that nut yet.
That's true.
You know what? I bet you all of those petition people actually love him.
I bet half his audience is people that complain about his movies online.
Yeah.
At least.
If you guys want to see more Uwe Boll movies, you're in luck because his next film, which is coming out soon, is Darfur.
I love that video game.
Is the next one going to be called Dar 5?